I'm just grateful to meet you today. And we were having a conversation upstairs at the Think AI Town Tech Hall. And I found it fascinating, your perspective that you were sharing with me about why companies are going to need additional handholding and help in selecting technologies to run their organizations. If you could just explain a little bit why you think companies are going to be reaching out and there's going to be more opportunities essentially for companies like my own. I'm in the space of helping people select ERPs, for example, and you can say a little bit about, what you're helping companies find, and tell me how you think this AI is going to impact what people are looking for in terms of services.
Yeah, I mean, it's lovely to meet you, and the conversation has been really dynamic. And I think at this event, especially, people are trying to make sense of AI in a way that's meaningful, not only to the people that they work with, but end user communities, but for their budgets, right? Like, this is all so new. Just 6 months ago, there were not things that are on the market that are on the market now. It's such a rapid pace of product introduction into the market that I think CIOs, CTOs, COOs, CEOs, board members, everybody wants to get a piece of the pie, but everybody's novice, right? Traditionally, you have experienced technologists who understand, right? And they can make, a research decision about a piece of technology, integrate it into their environment with confidence. I think now folks are going to be looking for consulting advisory services to make sense of the landscape because it is changing so rapidly, right? And we were talking upstairs that there is a level of collaboration with AI that we haven't necessarily seen with other kind of big technology announcements over the last 20 years. This is a new frontier for a lot of people. And so people are vulnerable and they're saying, I don't know what I don't know. What do you know? What's helping you? How are you getting pilots off the ground? And I think there's been a lot of experimenting, but now the rubber is kind of meeting the road and people need to prove value and they need to set forth budgets for these types of technologies. And I heard this at a conference that I thought was wonderful. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Yes.
But then there was this thing introduced of FOMU, fear of messing up. I think a lot of folks are trying to integrate AI in a way that's not just pilot to pilot, to where there's real value being created, whether that's productivity gains in internal teams or bringing more innovative products to the market for their own clients and customers. They want to do it in a meaningful way and in a way that works for their organization and their goals. But there's not really a roadmap to that. There's not really a proven success path for technologists and CTOs and CIOs that they can look to. And so I really do think advisory services, consulting services are going to be that kind of place where they can talk and explore different products, different companies in a way that's meaningful.
I feel like we have the ability to bridge a gap.
Yeah.
Right? The gap between the needs of the organization and the technologies that are available.
Sure.
And there are a lot of companies building these technologies that have very persuasive ads and marketing to us. And they're using AI on us, which has its own challenges, right? To trigger us what to do. And we are learning we can't trust all of that information that's coming at us. And so when we put a human being in that consulting role, I believe that's going to add a lot of protection. It's going to add a lot of safety in making those business decisions to go to those new technologies. You need that human still in the gap who can bridge that and to help the company make a serious investment, because these are not only investments, financial investments, but these are extremely high learning curve, change management investments. In fact, and that's one of the hardest pieces to this. I've had a company say, well, money's not the issue. It really isn't the issue. Yeah. It's the people and the change. And so as we bring about these changes and as we train people on these new technologies, we can't jerk them around quite as fast as the technology is going. So we certainly want to make some careful
100%.
decisions, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the human element. I've been to so many conferences and heard so many people talk about AI, and I'm sure you have too. But there is this centralizing conversation around the human experience with AI. Mm-hmm. To your point, technology isn't just about technology. It's about people and process as well. And you can't just implement something like Copilot or Gemini and say, oh, my productivity is going to go up. Not unless you enable people, not unless you train people, not unless you dig a little bit deeper and help them understand that this change is not happening to them, it's happening with them, and that they can leverage these tools to be more creative, to have better time to value, all of these things that ultimately they probably want for their own careers. But you're right, the marketing of AI is going to do all of these things.
Yes.
Well, not unless you know how to use it, and you know how to use it in a way that gives you strength as an individual contributor or strength as a department. I think that there is such a human component to it, but that's something we've seen in technology kind of forever, right? It's the people, the process, the change management, the adoption, all of those things are vital to technology being successfully implemented and proving gains, right? Innovation comes from the people and the technology working together.
I love it. I love it. This was a great conversation.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, Rose.